Good morning, students. In this presentation, I'll be talking about rhabdovirus, the prototype in detail, like how transcription happened, translation, packaging in detail. I have explained in vesicular stomatitis virus, and in rabies virus, I have explained about the infectivity pathway and what are the proteins. But transcription and translation is the same mechanism, so that I am going to be making very brief in rabies virus. Why I have taken two is vesicular stomatitis virus is a very simpler virus, and it's easily understandable. Rabies virus, the vesicular stomatitis virus is rarely infecting the humans. Even if it infects, it's very like flu-like symptoms and easily it can be recovered. But rabies virus is the one which is the human pathogen. So rabies virus, how the what are the receptors, how it is transmitted, where it is transmitted and all, we'll discuss in rabies virus. So rhabdo in Greek means rod. Okay, rhabdoviruses are found in invertebrates as well as in vertebrates. Like certain virus groups have broad host range. Like Lassa, it has two genus, vesiculovirus and Lissa virus. Lissa virus is the genus which contains the rabies virus, and it affects the broad group of animals. If you can see that VSV has flu-like symptoms, but rabies has fatal encephalomyelitis. So first part of the presentation is on VSV. So VSV, like vesicular stomatitis, it is like appearing as mucosal vesicles and ulcers in the mouth of the infected animal. With VSV shows these symptoms. VSV is like mostly transmitted via arthropod such as mosquito. It causes vesicular stomatitis, which is fatal for pigs, not for humans. The humans are rarely infected. Even if they are laboratory exposed, they just shows a flu-like symptom. More than that is the rabies virus, which causes fatal encephalomyelitis. Coming to the virion structure, it's a very interesting virion. They are bullet-shaped particles. You can see they look like a bullet shape. The bullet shape is not the viral protein, it's the lipid bilayer. They are bullet shaped particle, they are enveloped. The lipid bilayer is coated with a glycoprotein called as G protein. The M protein followed by the lipid bilayer, you have the coating of the M protein. M protein is a matrix protein, coats the inner leaflet of lipid bilayer. Inside the envelope, the nucleocapsid with helical symmetry are found, in which the RNA genome is encapsulated by numerous N protein, forming nucleocapsid protein. The meaning of encapsulated is coated. The N protein is all over coated the RNA genome. At the terminal, you have the, like any other negative stranded RNA viruses, you have the polymerase that is composing of L and P protein, which is bound to one tip of the nucleocapsid. The L protein is the RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and it has an associated protein, that is the P protein, which acts as the cofactor of RNA dependent RNA polymerase. Okay, and this is an transmission electron micrograph picture. You can see they all look like scattered bullets. The genome structure is like, it is negative sense single stranded RNA. The length of it is like 11 kb in length. It has 5 terminal terminus and a 3 terminal end, and 5 terminal end has the triphosphate group, while the 3 terminal end has no the phosphate group. Okay, it has hydroxyl group. And at the when we say RNA, we think of poly A tail, but there is no poly A tail here because it is a viral genomic RNA. In addition to 5 prime, there are 5 structural mRNAs which are produced, that is the N, P, M, G and L. In addition to that, there are two other small non-coding RNA which are transcribed by these viral genome. A non-coding RNA termed as leader RNA is transcribed from the 3' end of the genome, while another non-coding RNA which is transcribed from the tailor end, that is the 5' end of the genome. So this is the way it is organized. From the 3' end, if you take, first comes the N protein, then comes the P protein, then the M, G and L. So what are these NM? N protein codes for nucleocapsid protein, that codes the mRNA, viral genomic RNA. P protein codes for the phosphoprotein, which is the RNA dependent RNA polymerase cofactor. M protein codes for matrix protein. G protein codes for enveloped glycoprotein. L protein is the core RNA dependent RNA polymerase, which catalyzes the transcription and replication also, and which also carries out capping and by methyl transfer to a G residue, guanine residue. Okay, now life cycle. The life cycle of this VSV virus or any rhabdoviruses is confined to cytoplasm. The steps are entry and then uncoating, and the RNA is synthesized to positive strand RNA, and then you have the translation, and you have antigenome RNA, which is like again it is converted to viral RNA, viral genomic RNA by replication, and then coating, then all the other proteins are synthesized, the capsid proteins are synthesized, and you have the release of the virus by budding. So this is the life cycle. We'll go through each. First step is the entry. The recognition molecule here is very interesting. It's not a glycoprotein, it's a lipid, that is phosphatidylserine on the plasma membrane. After attachment to the phosphatidylserine, uncoating of the viral particle happens in the manner coupled with cytoplasmic trafficking. Uncoating as well as it is trafficked inside the cytoplasm. The viral nucleoprotein capsid penetrates to the cytoplasm via membrane fusion by the endosome and viral envelope. The membrane fusion is triggered by the low pH of the endosome, which includes the exposure of hydrophobic region of G protein. So once it is uncoated, the genomic viral RNA is released, the function of this LP complex starts, that is RNA dependent RNA polymerase function starts. So it actually produces two types of positive strand mRNA. The viral genome is negative strand, but it produces two positive stranded RNA are transcribed from the negative strand RNA genome. That is, those two are mRNAs, and the full length mRNA, which is the genomic RNA. So important is the nucleocapsid or RNP complex, in which the RNA molecule is completely encircled by numerous N proteins, serve as a template for this transcription. So coming to transcription, two short non-coding RNAs as well as viral mRNAs are transcribed from the incoming negative strand ribonucleoprotein ribonucleoprotein as template. So it is interesting to know that there is only one promoter, one start site, and then it produces all the mRNAs. There, as I told, that the 3' end contains a leader mRNA, and the 5' tail contains the trailer non-coding RNA. Both the leader and the trailer RNAs are neither capped nor polyadenylated, while the free mRNAs are capped and polyadenylated. So RNA polymerase starts the 3' end from the 3' end of the template. That is, the first production is the leader RNA, and then you have RNA for N protein, and then you have RNA for P protein, followed by then you have RNA for M, G, L, and for last is the trailer RNA. That is what was shown in this. So first is the N mRNA, followed by P mRNA, followed by M, G and L mRNAs are transcription starts. So you can see these are distinct mRNAs. They are separately synthesized. So there should be a start sequence and the stop sequence, and followed by a start sequence and the stop sequence. So these multiple RNA are synthesized by this RNA polymerase without being dissociated from the template. That's interesting. That is called as single site initiation of the synthesis of mRNAs. The viral mRNAs are capped by capping activity of the L protein, that is the G residue is the capped nucleotide, which is methylated by the methyl transferase associated with the L protein. So this modification is very unique because this is immediately in the cytoplasm. What happens in the cellular mRNA synthesis is these mRNAs are capped inside the nucleus, and then they are transported to the cytoplasm. And this is a very interesting thing of this virus, is that I'll come later to that. So this single site initiation followed by modification happens in the cytoplasm. But the nuclear RNAs, they have to be transported from the nucleus to cytoplasm. This is where the virus plays an important role by stopping this step of translation. In the last slide, I have how this host machinery is stopped. So there are many means 5 RNAs are synthesized, and then how this stop and next start is happening is between this 2 genes, that is for example gene A and gene B, you have this small region called as intergenic region. These intergenic regions are very important because as the gene A is started, when it is reached the end, the RNA dependent RNA polymerase comes across a small stretch of U residues, that is around 6 to 7 U residues at the end of the coding region. Okay, and they at that place is something called as stuttering happens. So in this stuttering process, what happens, the polymerase stalls at that place and it starts adding A residues. Around 200 A residues are added at that place. Once it is finished, it scans the intergenic region, and then again it starts with the starting codon of the second gene. So there is synthesis, that is the transcription, then you have the termination, and then you have reinitiation of transcription of the second gene. Okay, and the way these mRNAs are transcribed is very interesting because as the RNA polymerase proceeds till the end, it's like almost there can be chances of that RNA polymerase slipping out from the viral genomic RNA. So there is something called as attenuation happening. So as the sequence of viral genomic RNA, you can see that first is the leader sequence, then is the N, P, M, G, L and trailer mRNA. So gradually there is reduction in the amplitude of synthesis of these mRNAs. So L is the ribonucleoprotein, which is not so much necessary because these are already coated with the RNA dependent RNA polymerase when they infect. So this polymerase, the L protein, is required only for when there is replication starting, and then when there is you have to club this RNA dependent RNA polymerase to the genome of the viral RNA. But the N protein, which is the first protein, is very important because as you start this replication, there should be coating of the N protein. And it's very interesting to know this N protein has so many regulatory functions. First, it is coated onto viral RNA. That means you do not have the secondary structure formation. If there is no secondary structure formation, you do not have to recruit all the machineries others from the cellular environment which are required to remove this secondary structure strain, so that there is transcription. And then you do not have double stranded RNA formation. Once the positive and negative strand RNA which are there in the cytoplasm, if they are not coated with the uh, uh, sorry, with the N protein, then it is a double stranded RNA is formed, and then the cell will recognize immediately that there is something happening, the double stranded RNA structure, and it triggers the antiviral defenses. So this N proteins plays an important role. So N protein is the one which shifts from the transcription to the replication phase. Now when enough of the protein is synthesized, there need not be a nuclear import also, because this is all happening in the cytoplasm. Once the N protein is levels are critical, like they are enough synthesized, the N protein excess binds and encircles the nascent transcribed positive strand RNA and act as anti-terminators, resulting in synthesis of full-length RNA. So you know that there can be multiple viral RNA polymerase start binding and then synthesizing the mRNAs. So once you know that enough proteins are there, the trigger is that more of N protein will go and bind, and then you have the synthesis of full length RNA. The synthesized positive ribonucleoprotein are in turn used as a template for the synthesis of negative ribonucleoprotein. So parallelly, there is translation also happening of the viral mRNAs. The 5 different mRNAs which are translated to 5 proteins in the cytoplasm, and the nascent N proteins as well as P and L proteins become associated with the RNA, forming a ribonucleoprotein complex. They are also involved in viral RNA synthesis. The matrix protein are targeted to the plasma membrane. Most of the gradient goes towards the plasma membrane attached to cytoplasmic side of the membrane. The glycoprotein that is translated in the endoplasmic reticulum also goes to the membrane, and it is localized in the plasma membrane. You can see that glycoprotein is in the membrane. Matrix protein are like slowly moving towards the glycoprotein which are present in the membrane, and with that gradient of matrix protein, the ribonucleoprotein also goes towards the membrane. That is where the assembly and release happen. Capsid assembly and envelopment occurs in the sequential manner. In that, viral ribonucleoprotein assembly occurs first in the cytoplasm, and then the assembled viral ribonucleoprotein is recruited to the plasma membrane for budding. So this, as the replication of the viral genome is happening, there is like budding also happening parallelly. So once you are finished with replication, the infectious particles are ready to be released. The budding involves pinching or membrane fusion that is triggered by again the M protein. Specifically, this M protein has something called as L domain, which recruits cellular machinery termed as the multivesicular body pathway to carry out this budding process. Okay, so this budding is seen. So this is what I was talking about, regulation of not allowing the cellular mRNAs to be translated. So it happens at 3 stages. That is very important. That is the effect on the host cell. That is, RNA processing is affected as well as translation is affected. First, RNA processing is affected. The VSV infection blocks the nuclear export of cellular pre-mRNAs. Specifically, the M protein binds to RAE1. You can see in the picture there is RAE1 which is bound by the VSV M protein. That is an important protein which carries out nuclear export, It's a nuclear export factor involved in cellular pre-mRNA export, blocking the export of cellular pre-RNA mRNA. It this inhibitory mechanism does not affect viral mRNA because viral mRNA is in the cytoplasm, and this mechanism is called as the host shut-off mechanism. And whichever mRNA has already been transported to the cytoplasm, which are ready for translation, that also is affected. You have elongation factors. The eukaryotic translation initiation factors, eukaryotic translation initiation factor 4E, it has to be phosphorylated to carry out the translation effectively, but that phosphorylation is reduced, thereby reducing the association with ELF4. ELF4 is a complex elongation elongation translation factors 4A, 4G and 4E forms a complex of 4F. The phosphorylation of ELF2 is increased, that is not required, so that leads to degradation of ELF2. ELF2 phosphorylation by interferon activated protein kinase R contributes to the translation suppression. So viral mRNAs are not affected. They are happily transcribing and carries out assembly and release of the VSV. So rhabdoviruses are found in invertebrates as well as vertebrates, ranging from mosquito to cattle. VSV is the prototype of animal rhabdovirus. Human rhabdovirus, rabies virus, represents a prototype of human rhabdovirus. Rabies virus causes fatal encephalomyelitis in humans. VSV particle is enveloped virus which contains the nucleocapsid of a helical symmetry, inside which the terminal end is attached to L and P protein complex, and is the whole viral genome is encapsulated and during transfection. VSV genome is negative strand RNA, 12 kilo base pair in length. Its 5' terminus is not capped, and its 3' terminus is not polyadenylated. That is not 50, that is 5', and it's not 30, it is 3'. Viral ribonucleoprotein, instead of naked RNA, it is a nucleocapsid coated with N protein, serves as a template for RNA synthesis. The N protein level regulates the transit between the transcription and the replication. VSV infection leads to host shut off and cell lysis. So this is about the VSV. Now we will see the human pathogen, that is the rabies. Rabies virus, I am sure many would have heard. The dog bite induces the rabies virus, and it is like spread all over many countries, and you have the variants also of rabies virus, but the mode of infection and replication is the same. This is a 2017 data where you can see the confirmed cases of this rabies is just by dog transmission. You have other ways of transmissions also. The dog transmission is the most prevalent, and then you can see many of the Asian countries are affected by this dog transmission of rabies. Now coming to the structure of the rabies, like you have the VSV, the rabies also has a bullet-like structure, and with that outer is the plasma membrane covered with homotrimers of type 1 transmembrane glycoprotein with peplomers, that is glycoprotein spikes are there in this. It's very interesting structure. The genome is made up of 12 kilobase pair negative sense RNA of Lassa viruses, and it encodes 5 viral protein. Like the VSV, it has an N protein, which is a nucleoprotein, and then you have phosphoprotein P, matrix protein M, glycoprotein G, and a large RNA polymerase L. So within this virion, the genomic RNA is tightly encapsulated with N and P to form a ribonucleoprotein, which is closely associated with the viral RNA polymerase complex, that is the P and L. The ribonucleoprotein forms a helix that is encapsulated with M, and which in turn connects the ribonucleoprotein and the lipid bilayer membrane envelope. So that was about the A structure. This is what I was talking. This B is a hippocampal neuronal, like mouse was infected with rabies virus, RABV strain, and which was naturally isolated from dog. And if you take the cross section, there you can see the cytoskeletal network is not affected, but the blue colors are the nuclei. You have the dot red particles, those are the virions, and this green is the cellular cytoskeletal structures which are not affected, but still viral replication is happening. In this C, you can see this is a cross section of the virion. The arrowhead represents the lipid bilayer. The arrow mark represents the G peplomers, and then yellow arrow represents the ribonuclear core. And this D picture is a longitudinal view of the virion. Like you can see the bullet shaped forming, and here a virion is being engulfed by the cell, presumably to endocytotic endocytotic mechanism, and then you have the entry into the cell. Now coming to the receptors, what are the receptors? Like you have VSV, the receptor was phosphatidylserine. Here you have little other receptors. You know that rabies affect the nerves, and then mostly the dog bite is the muscle, and you have the muscle and neuronal junction. So those proteins acts as a receptor. The main receptors are the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, neuronal cell adhesion molecules, and tumor necrosis factor receptor superfamily 16, which is also known as P75NTR, which is the main in the muscle type, are considered as ribovirus receptor. So here I have explained about how the process starts. Like here it is basically the spread of virus in the neurosystem. Muscle is where you have the start of the bite from dog. It enters the muzzle of the human at the motor end plate. After the receptor, there is receptor mediated endocytosis. The receptor, for example, take P75NTR, there is endocytosis, or it can be NCAM also. There is entry into the nerve cell by receptor mediated endocytosis at the presynaptic membrane. The virion travels by retrograde axonal transport towards the neuronal soma. So there is entry, that is the first step. Then there is transport, that is the second step, and it reaches the cell body or the soma of the neuron. This transport is by dynein dependent manner. That is what refers to the directionality. And dynein motors transported tumor necrosis factor receptor family, that is after it is endocytosed, it is transported by dynein dependent manner to the soma. In the soma, the ribonucleoprotein is released from the endocytotic vesicle the same manner as VSV, and primary transcription produces the 5' capped polyadenylated viral mRNA, a process driven by the virion associated large RNA polymerase L and phosphoprotein P in the same way as VSV. Viral proteins are translated on free ribosomes in the cytoplasm, with the exception of G protein, which is translated in the endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi network. there it is then it is targeted towards the membrane. So initial phases, you have the early proteins which are synthesized. In late phases, the M protein shifts the activity of RNA polymerase complex from transcriptase to the replicase. So here important is the M protein, matrix protein, shifting the activity of the polymerase from transcription to replication, and the replication of full length RNA genome occurs. The negative sense RNA genome, like the VSV, is first transcribed to full length positive strength RNA strand, which are subsequently transcribed into full length negative strand RNA. Both replication products, that is the full length positive sense and negative sense RNA genome, start to be assembled with the nucleoprotein to form a new ribonucleoprotein while the replication process is ongoing, and can either be used as a template for further RNA synthesis, that is full length genome replication and an mRNA transcription, or encapsulated into progeny virion. So assembly and budding of the virion is mediated by the M protein, uh, that is located in the cytoplasm, or else because it is like lot of proteins are synthesized, it can be like inclusion bodies also, uh, which slowly goes towards the cell membrane. There is oligomerization of the M protein at the membrane, that increases the binding affinity of the membrane for the lipid bilayer and plays an important role in membrane curvature and envelopment of ribonucleoprotein. There is a late domain in M protein which increases the efficiency of virus release. The glycoprotein on the surface of the virions is required for receptor binding and subsequent pH dependent membrane fusion of endocytotic vesicles. So these glycoproteins are synthesized through rough endoplasmic reticulum and transported to Golgi apparatus, from there to the plasma membrane. In the Golgi apparatus, during this transport only, they are glycosylated and they form homotrimers, and that are incorporated into the budding virions. So this is the process of rabies full productive cycle. So in this small lecture, we came across rhabdoviruses. Rhabdoviruses, two example, VSV virus and the rabies virus. Both are present.